Hi, this is James, and welcome back to Storytime with James. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you like. And if you would, hit me on the Cash App. Bless my Cash App so I can get more acrylic paint, masking tape, and paintbrushes. It's for my art, okay? All right. This one is called Crash Dummy. Yes, I've uh, I've had many fender benders and crashes during my life, since I've been driving. But this one in particular really sparks my memory a little bit. Okay. I was in a 71 Buick Electra. This was set in Chicago, Illinois, you know, in in the late to mid 70s. I mean 80s. 80s. It's about 80, 87, 86. So I was driving home from work. I had a long commute to get to work because I was living in Harvey, Illinois. So I had to come from downtown Chicago to Harvey, Illinois. So the day before that, I went to the junkyard and got some parts, and I had them in the trunk. So I had got some parts for the tire and stuff like that. Because I was going to redo the front end. So I drove downtown, went to work, and was on my way home, on my way back home. So I was headed south. Okay. So I'm driving. I've got the music bumping. Just happen to be bopping along, driving and stuff like that. You know, then all of a sudden, I can feel the car wobbling a little bit. And I was thinking, what was that? But hey, bam, 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 bam. And so I'm on the Dan Ryan going southbound. So I'm going about maybe 60 miles an hour. Then all of a sudden, I heard some say, it went, you know, and my tire flew past the driver's side window. So now I'm driving on three wheels, okay, with traffic. So I'm over in the far left hand lane, and my car starts going like this, going over to the far left hand side. So no matter how I tried to steer it, it still kept going like this, and sparks start coming up. I said, "Oh my God!" And the only thing I could think about was, "Oh well, I won't be able to pay this light bill, this power bill." That's the only thing I was thinking about when this was happening. I was thinking about my power bill. I had to pay. I was going home to pay the electric bill. You know, I figured, hey, I won't be able to do it. So it was going over and over. And as we going over, we was going over a bridge, and there was water down there, and I was sliding towards it. So I said, oh well, I won't be able to pay the power bill. I guess they take care of it. I thought of this stuff within a couple of seconds, and then boom, I hit the side, I hit the curve because my tires were turned this way, but I was skidding that way, skidding toward that way, and it wedged against the curve, and the car just, and it was still running too, and I sat there for a couple of seconds. I said, "Oh my God!" And I looked over the side, nothing but water down there. So I got out. I shut the car off and I got out. And there was cars coming, big trucks and everything. And I just took my jack out and started jacking it up. Jacking the front end up. Because I was going to put the parts that I bought, just do it now, do the parts now. So while I was doing it, a tow truck came. It was a city tow truck. And he said, "Man, what you doing?" I said, "Man, I got to put this on here because my tire came off." He said, "Don't do that. You can't do that on the side of the expressway. You see these trucks and stuff coming by? Hold on." And they told me to the next off ramp. When I got to the next off ramp, I started putting the parts on there. I had to put the caliper on there, put the rotor on there, put another rotor and stuff on there, tighten all this down and stuff, and I had a spare tire in the back. It was kind of small tire, but it would work, So I put that tire on, and I had to drive slow. So I had to drive on the surface streets, And I was driving, and finally I made it home after a couple of hours. It was a long time. So I made it home, and I prayed. Because I could have perished right there, I could have went over that curve, and the flimsy little balancer thing they had there, it would have crashed right through that if it wasn't for me hitting that curve, So after that, I put another tire on there and everything. And I just put new brakes on the front and everything like that. So everything was okay, But that was the most memorable time when I thought I was gone, And it's this other incident I had when I was on a damn Ryan again. It was on the damn Ryan. This time I was going to work. It was late in the evening, and they called me in. So I was driving again, bumping Chub Rock, dum dum dum, dum 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 dum, and then it was a light misty rain coming down, light misty rain, but it was no problem. I like driving in the rain, So I'm driving, and then all of a sudden, a van was coming down the ramp, getting ready to merge onto the expressway. And I was just coming up, and he clipped my tail end. Had me spinning a couple of times, and then straight into the back of another car. And that really bent my hood and everything up, So I tried to get out because, actually I wanted to fight the person that was in front of me. The van that hit me kept going. So because Because this car that I ran into the back of was just sitting, stopped in the center lane of the expressway. I don't know what that car stopped there for. I don't know if it stalled out or what, but I ran right into the back of it. So now you know who was liable. Me. I was liable because I ran into his tail end, you know. So I couldn't get out, and they had the fire people come over, and they said, bring the jaws of life out, bring the jaws of life out. And I was so mad because, you know, first of all, my gear shift broke off. You know, I had the gear in the count down on the console, and my thigh broke it off. So I was mad, and I started kicking the door because it was like crumpled where the door wouldn't open. And I kicked the door open. I kicked it. Boom, boom, boom. Kicked it open. And I was getting out, and I was getting ready to fight the person that I ran into. My mind was mixed up, you know. So they got me, and they called the ambulance, and the ambulance took me to the hospital, you know. At the hospital, outside of some bruising on my thigh, it was no damage or nothing like that, you know. So I had to go through HE double hockey sticks to get my car back, and I had to go back and forth to court for this. And my insurance tried to say that it was expired, but I had another day before I had to pay my insurance, you know. So I had to go battle with them, but finally they gave up, the insurance people, and they paid them. But it was a long time. It was a couple of months, you know. So that's terrible. Terrible. Then the last one, I was coming from work again. Just got paid too. Just got paid. I had a big check. So I was happy coming home. But it was an ice storm on the way coming home. And black ice. It was a black ice warning. So I'm from Chicago anyway. So it's nothing. So I'm on a damn rant again, coming home. I'm driving, and traffic had slowed down to a crawl. Like people on the expressway were going like 40 to 30 miles an hour. So I was going like them, you know. So then we was getting ready to go on an overpass, on an incline. So I had to speed up so I can get up the hill, you know. So I was going up the hill, and then as soon as I crest the top of the hill, there was another car. It was a Country Squire. I think y'all know what those wagons were. Country Squire wagon. Look, I was in a Plymouth Horizon, okay? In a Plymouth Horizon. And this big old Country Squire wagon was in front of me. So he started hitting his brakes. And I said, what is he doing? So he's hitting his brakes, and his car was sliding sideways like. And I couldn't slam on brakes. If I would have slammed on brakes, I would have started sliding. So took my foot off the gas and was coasting down the hill. Sooner or later, his car spun around and touched my car, and my car started spinning. And I almost gained control of it. Then all of a sudden, I started spinning the other way. And then, and the car was upside down. And I was like, oh my goodness. When I regained my equilibrium, the car was upside down. So I climbed out of the car and I stood under the car, under there with the muffler and everything. So I was standing on top of the car, and everything that I had in my car fell to the roof of the car. So I'm standing there, and then this tow truck came up. He said, "Hey man, $150, I'll get you out of there." I said, "150?" He said, "Yeah." So when he said that, a police pulled up and asked him, "What are you doing down here?" He said, well, he called me. I said, "I didn't call him. I didn't call him." And they told him, "Look, you can't be down here. Only city tow trucks are supposed to be on the expressway. All right? Now get this guy out of there and get off of here." And so he had to take me out of there for free, you know. So when he told me, when he pulled the car over and then pulled me out of that ditch, like, he told me, he said, "It ain't gonna start anyway." And then he drove off. When he drove off, I got in the car and it started right up. So the hood, the top of the car was bent down like this. So I boom, 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 pushed it back up and proceeded to go. The only damage on there was my side view mirror was broke off, and yeah, just some slight dent in the front, you know. But yeah, that was terrible though. I haven't had any more accidents. I had one accident since I've been here in Memphis. I had this lady come out of a gas station. I can't explain it, but she came out into traffic. And it was a big truck here. When she passed the big truck, I was in a turning lane, getting ready to turn. And I crashed into her. But she was on her phone and doing some of everything. And she had a cast on her arm. She had a cast on and was on her phone. So, you know, she couldn't be holding onto the steering wheel or something like that. So when I crashed into her, it bent the front of my car up, but it tore hers up. It tore hers up. So, and I was nice enough to drop her off at her residence after she did it, because her car couldn't move. But she had insurance, so they took care of my car and everything like that. But my car didn't cut off. It still could roll, except the front end was smashed up, you know. Yep, and I drove her and I dropped her off and I kept going, you know. Yep. But these are the things we have to go through if you want to drive, you know. Make sure you got your insurance and everything. And make sure you be careful. Be more careful of the other person. The other person, you got to try to anticipate what's going to happen. Like if you see a car, if he don't have a signal on, if he start drifting over a little bit like this, back up or speed up. Go ahead. But don't sit there and wait for something to happen to you. You just slow down, let him go. Let him get over in that lane, you know. And sometimes people don't have tail lights and brake lights. If they're going to stop, don't tailgate too close to them. Don't tailgate, you know, because you never know when he's going to stop, you know. All right. Well, that's it for me. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you like. And hit that bell notification. hit that bell notification so that you know every time I drop another video. And share, share, share. Share my videos with everyone so everyone can get this experience. Okay? Peace. Adios. Salamat. Cheers.